right.
No electricity, little food and water. Nearly 12,000 people still in emergency shelters in Puerto Rico in the wake of hurricanes Irma and Maria. That's some 3.5 million U.S. citizens facing what many are calling a humanitarian crisis. A family's cry for help written on their roof in a rural area of Puerto Rico. That they got help today from a search and rescue team, but many are struggling for enough food, water and food, and the island's infrastructure is devastated. Hurricane Irma caused some $1 billion in damages to the bankrupt island, and Hurricane Maria arrived a few days later and made things even worse. Some aid is beginning to arrive on the demolished island, with 90 flights per day coming into one airport, and more than 700,000 pounds of resources have arrived in the San Juan region. FEMA says 10,000 people are on the ground getting commodities to those in outlying areas, but the mayor of San Juan says while she appreciates the help so far,
the red tape has been getting in the way in a very dire situation here. And the issue at hand is how do we get lives and how do we get the things needed to save lives into the hands of the people.
There's also devastation on the U.S. Virgin Islands, where hospitals demolished by the storm will have to be rebuilt, and the communications and power grid are crushed. Aid is beginning to arrive here as well, but the tourist industry that is the basis for their economy on the three islands is decimated, and the more than 100,000 residents there are at the end of a relief chain that depends on the ports in Puerto Rico that were damaged by Hurricane Maria. Joining me right now is Rosa Clemente. She's an activist out of New York. She joins us from Albany, New York, an organizer as well. Rosa, Trump made a comment yesterday that the shipping industry is against repealing a particular act that will allow foreign aid to come in. These people need help, and they're still playing economic apartheid.
Well, yeah, it's called the Jones Act, and because the Puerto Rico remains a colony of the United States, this act, which was passed in 1920, really affects Puerto Rico. What it is basically if Jamaica wanted to send us goods or relief support, Cuba wants to send us nurses, they have to go to Jacksonville, Florida, disembark, take every supply off the ship, put it back, get charged an excise tax, then get permission from the United States government to go to the port of San Juan. The Jones Act in Hurricane Katrina, it was waived, and recently during Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma, it was waived.
Well, here's the deal. 1 second here. Looks like he finally got the pressure, because literally about 18 minutes ago, Sarah Huckabee Sanders tweeted, at Ricardo Rosello's request, POTUS has authorized the Jones Act to be waived for Puerto Rico. It will go into effect immediately. This was only because of the massive pressure that was brought to bear against him.
Yeah, from organizers, activists from all over the country. Puerto Ricans, we're a diasporic folk. We are from Puerto Rico, and then we're all over the United States. And 3.5 million American citizens are still in a humanitarian catastrophe. Imagine living and walking in Washington, D.C. or any city that has that amount of people, and people in America not having electricity now, not for 1 week. Someone like my uncle has been without electricity since Hurricane Irma, and he's in a place out of San Juan that was not hit that hard. Secondly, right now on the docks, there are over 3,000 containers of donations that have been sent from all over the world that have not been distributed. And what has been distributed has been in the city of San Juan. Anyone that's been to a Caribbean nation knows that there is cities and then there's a campo, the mountains. And so many of these people are stuck, they're isolated, and the elderly are beginning to die at quick rates because they don't have access to their insulin, dialysis, medicine, oxygen tanks.
What do you want folks to do next? Where do you want them to give? What do you want our viewers to do?
Well, first, everybody has obviously put pressure on Congress for the Jones Act. We also need an immediate freezing of the debt. Our governor should not be paying a debt that actually Puerto Rico does not owe. America owes us for 100 years of imperialism and colonialism. Secondly, I do encourage people to continue to give. This is not going to be something that's over in a week or 6 months. They're saying half the island might not have electricity for the next year. You can go to an organization like mariafund.org, and if you're a truck driver in the United States, they are begging for people to come to Puerto Rico so they can offload all those containers and get supplies to people immediately.
All right, Rosa Clemente, we appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.